Welcome to IdeaGen TV, live from ACS Athens here in Athens, Greece. Today I'm honored to have with me Konstantinos Michanetzis. Konstantino, welcome.
Nice to meet you. Thank you very much.
So great to be here in Athens, especially here at ACS for this incredible summit today. Konstantino, I'd like to ask you, you've done so much, and we'll get into your background. You know, it's been remarkable what you've done and what you're doing. But I'd like to start with a question, which is, why is leadership so important to you?
Okay, nice question. Thank you very much. First of all, thank you for having me here with you. I wish you all the best for the series of videos you're doing. So leadership, I think it's like the lighthouse that drives the ship towards a direction. So if you don't have someone to open the light, to give you direction, you can easily lose your path in the Black Sea. So leadership is about putting things together and making great ideas become a reality by providing a direction of how you should pursue your future. I don't know if it's very generic, but that's what I will say.
Well, it's appropriate in Greece to talk about a lighthouse surrounded by the ocean. And I'd like to then take it to the next level. You've served in the military here in Greece. You've created such incredibly successful companies and ventures. What is your proudest moment? What is that thing that you look to say, my gosh, that is one of the most amazing things I've ever done?
Okay, I've done many things which I am very proud of having doing, but being an officer of the Navy, I think one of the most proud moments for me was when we announced the first career transition program for officers of the Navy, of the armed forces. And what I want to say here is that Greece has a very highly educated, highly trained group of professionals which are trained in real situations. We're actually practically the only European nation that has been in active military operations for the last 40 years because of the situation of our country. And there has been, let's say, a policy in the armed forces for many years to educate the officers abroad in top level institutions like MIT, Harvard, Imperial, and many other universities. Mm-hmm. So we have a very good group of people, highly educated, with a lot of experience from the field, with ethics, which when they were retired, were not being used. So being able to provide a solution for the Greek society to help these people to transition to the private sector, I think this was one of the most proud moments of myself.
You know, it's incredible because, you know, coming from the United States, we have a lot of career transition programs for veterans, especially. And to hear that you created the first one here in Greece, I mean, it just makes sense because you have such a highly qualified pool of candidates that have the discipline, the training, the background, et cetera, to be able to really succeed with some perspective in the private sector.
Yes, as you said, it's not only something that ethically, or let's say, it makes me proud. I think it makes also absolutely sense as a business. As you said, and we actually studied all the career transition programs for the United States and Britain and France and many other nations, which are doing a great job, and we were inspired by them. And we took many aspects of these career transition programs to build our own. And there's such a big value in this group of people in a society which is growing right now. Now Greece is again back into high growth rates and needs professionals which are experienced and educated. And there's a huge pool over there which was not being used. So it also makes great sense as a business.
So it's been going great and you want to expand it?
Yes, it's going great. And now we are we're connecting with industry. So the industry saw the program. Now the industry is coming and say we want to get in also. So large industrial-based corporations or societies that want to come and help this thing, so they can also find resources.
I want to ask you, because it's a big topic, not only in the United States, but globally, and one that I believe that you're familiar with. AI. AI is already here. It's already here. It's not coming. It's already here.
Yep.
And that would be, is that one area that you help to train these officers, these well-trained retiring, military folks?
So this is something else. AI, especially in the defense sector, is something very new, but it's here to stay, and it will actually become one of the main topics to discuss about defense and defense innovation. So recently, we also established the defense sector for AI in the National Society of Artificial Intelligence, and we are leading it. I'm the president. I'm the head of this sector of AI in defense. And the idea is to aggregate all the entities right now, like society, the military, the universities, the private sector, the public sector, and start to educate them, first of all, about what AI can do, what are we going to face in the future, so to adjust our strategic plans and our knowledge and our actions, taking into consideration the opportunities and the threats that AI will bring in the battlefield.
Incredible. It's incredible to think about that. And so you have founded so many companies. You've done so many things. We can't keep up. I mean, if you ask a topic, you're probably involved, especially as it relates to innovation and technology. And so I'd like to ask you, tell us a few about a few of your projects. What is a current, modality? We know AI, we know transitioning veterans and upskilling. What are your companies doing? I know I've heard about your venture studio.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that as well.
So the venture studio was a dream from the past. It started like a technology company into the software domain, but it was highly being affected by another entity that we started in 2013. It was in 2000. What happened in Greece during the financial crisis was that people started thinking out of the box. I mean, before the financial crisis in Greece, everybody wanted to become a public servant. Mm-hmm. So the crisis killed this proposition, and that's when actually the startup ecosystem in Greece appeared, because people started thinking, let's do something else. And in 2013, there was the startups ecosystem actually started to appear in Greece, and there was no formal structure to help them, like accelerators or things like that. And a group of MIT grads, we gathered together and we went to MIT and we said, we have this situation in Greece, and we need a structured process to bring them to Greece to help the startup ecosystem to flourish. And that's how we brought MIT's acceleration program called MIT Enterprise Forum, and we brought the MIT Enterprise Forum of Greece. And we started doing acceleration programs every year. This went very well, and it's still running 12 years after that. Wow. We have accelerated more than 250 startups. They have raised almost $500 million all these years. But the point is that we got involved into this innovation ecosystem and understanding how the dynamics, the parties involved, and all this kind of stuff. And we saw a business opportunity into the innovation field now, and we transformed our Seeders company, which was a software company, to a venture studio, which was no venture studio until then in Greece. And the vision of Seeders is that we're looking to speak with people that have knowledge of problems from deep industries. For example, Greece has a very large maritime industry. There are some professionals in this industry that they know problems of the industry which are you need to be many years in this industry to know the problem. If you're not in the industry, the problem is not visible.
That's right.
Okay, but if you're in the industry, you're usually a professional, many years in the domain, you know the problems, but you don't have the stack to innovate. You don't know how to form a technical team. You don't know how to do marketing. You don't know how to do sales, do fundraising.
Exactly.
So we're providing the stack.
Wow.
From ideation to fundraising. We also invest on startups, and we're focusing on people and big industries that can bring big disruptions.
Big industries that bring big disruptions.
And we can make successful startups. So through this process, we have brought many startups through and we also do our own startups. And to answer your question, which one is one of I preferably get engaged. We recently we had a situation in Greece a few years ago. You probably remember. We were under fire. We had the fire in Nevia, big fires. Then we had the fire in Dadia, big fire, huge fire. And at that point, I was with my partners. I have a very good friend. He's working in CEDAS. He's a Harvard grad, actually, from the Navy.
Oh, wow.
And we said, we have to do something. Yeah. Since fires are being fought, it's, the most efficient ways to fight fires are aerial systems. Okay? Yeah. Why don't we use drones? So we started the idea, and I want to spend too much time on this because I can speak for this about it until the morning, to use drones to fight forest fires. And I'm happy to say that we are the first that successfully did the first successful tests of fighting forest fires, in collaboration with the Hellenic Navy.
Wow.
We use the facilities of Hellenic Navy has the firefighting facilities in Skaramaga.
Okay.
Where we used our drones and we put real fires with real trees, and we hit our drones and we took off the fires with our drones. And now we are in a collaboration with the Ministry of Public Safety, Πολιτικής Προστασίας. They're waiting from us to give them the first drones to use them in real operations in forest fires. So this is one of our first, one of the nicest, I'll say, project we're working on right now, and I think it's going to be a big change.
Well, that's near and dear to us with everything that's happened. Also with fires in the United States, you saw the Palisades fire, Malibu.
And I have to say, I'm very glad to bring this because in order to help this project, we went to Washington this year. And the Greek community in Washington helps us a lot.
Okay.
So we managed to raise money from the Greek American community to support this endeavor.
And that's fantastic. So do the drones drop water?
No.
Well, how do they help? How do they?
So the idea is that I'm going to expand now.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So the idea is if you cannot. Drones are small, so they're physically restricted by science. By means that they're limited by size, and the payload they can lift is very small, and they can fly a limited distance. So instead of doing that, we said, what if we put a drone everywhere in the forest? So we did a study, and we say we need 3,000 drones to cover Greece, and that's going to work. But then we need some way to have them there. So when the fire breaks, the drone will be there. Okay, so we partnered with Vantage Towers. Vantage Towers is the sole owner of all the mobile antennas in Greece, and we're going to be using facilities. So we have designed the land systems that the drone will take off automatically. It will go there. The distance will be short,
and it's geo-fenced somehow.
Yes, geo-fenced, all this kind of stuff. And the point is that we're using our own design specialized payload, which uses artificial intelligence and thermal cameras. When the drone arrives to the location of the fire, it targets the fire with high accuracy, and we're using a very highly effective fluid, which is 100 times more effective than water. So by carrying just 20 kilograms of this fluid, it's like carrying 2,000 liters of water, which is like a Canadair. And we have the same effectiveness of...
So it is dropping something on the fire.
It's spraying.
Spraying.
Yes. But the technology is on the payload we design. Wow. So the spray will be optimal use. So we don't and we use it optimal. And with 20 liters, we can be really effective. And that's how we did it also in the Skaramagas.
Wow. And you can go. So how are the just again how are you notified that there's a fire starting?
So we don't work with notification. This is not the
Right,
case. We've
right.
just been alarmed that there's a
Okay,
fire there, and
there's
we
a fire
go.
there. Okay,
So there are so many technologies in detection.
sure.
We didn't want to get involved in
Okay,
that.
okay. Wow. But you're
Yeah.
in the mitigation. You're in the
We're just in the
taking
suppression.
suppression.
We're doing suppression only.
I'm not often speechless, but you're speechless when you talk about these types because we've seen it. And in California,
Yep.
the hellfire winds. There were like 120-mile-an-hour winds.
Yeah.
That stirred up these fires, and they spread so quickly.
So the point, if you reach that point,
Yep.
it's too difficult to fight the fire, even with drones. So to get back again, I think we're going to be talking about drones here.
Yeah.
There are four operational scenarios we're taking over. I mean, the first one is you go fast and you're
Sure.
in the field. So this is the situation. If you manage to get there very fast, you're
Mhm.
okay. The other one is the reason that the was burned
Mhm.
was the firebrands.
Mm.
Firebrands, the number one reason that they create small spots,
Mhm.
fire spots. They're too small for the airplanes because airplanes usually go to the large fires.
Right.
They're too far away for the land bases. Until they go there, they're becoming big fires. So
Right.
you have this drone that can go and shut up, turn off all these
Incredible.
fires, which
Incredible.
is the main reason.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the number two operational scenario we're targeting. The third one is drones can fly during night, which is the case that no airplane fly, and we can keep on during the night. And
Wow.
this is the main reason the firefighting department is looking to use our drones for.
Right.
And the fourth reason, for the fourth case is there are places like gorges.
Yeah.
The airplanes cannot go there.
Cannot go there.
Land bases can take hours to go there.
Right.
So you have this drone that can go immediately and take off the fire, at least in the immediate case.
You can't even quantify how incredible that is in a conversation like this. It doesn't do it justice, but the ability to simply be able to talk about it, I think, is profound.
Yeah.
I want to shift a bit, Konstantinos, to cross-sector collaboration, because I heard about your belief in it through what the questions you've answered. And, at IdeaGen, we're all about cross-sector collaboration. We believe that many of the world's most vexing issues can be solved by bringing together people from different disciplines who maybe speak a different language because of the work they do. But in the end, their solution, one sector over, maybe it's the finance sector, maybe it's the health sector, it's the business sector, all these sectors coming together. And that's what you've done, and that's what you're upskilling. You're taking, the veterans and upskilling them.
Yeah.
And showing them the pathway forward. Why is that so important?
Why is it important to upskill the veterans?
Why is cross-sector collaboration so important?
Because I think you can see bigger problems.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're in medicine and you know the problems, but you don't know the solutions. The solutions are cross disciplines. I mean, you need IT, you need electronics, you probably need you absolutely need business, you need sales,
Mhm.
you need marketing. So I mean, it is by the definition cross-sector. I mean, you cannot do innovation, you cannot do business if you're not cross-sector. It's like having a business without a marketing department. Is it possible?
Right. It's impossible. That's
Yeah.
right.
So
That's right.
I think it comes without asking that cross-discipline collaboration is the way to go. Otherwise, you're solving just part of the problem,
Mhm.
which eventually will hit the wall.
That's right. And what I've heard from you today, what's inspiring me about this conversation, one of the most inspiring interviews I've ever had, really, is your leadership. And it's remarkable when you think about how one person can actually change the world like you're doing.
Oh, thank you. I'm very humbled. I don't think I'm changing.
It's okay to be humble,
yeah.
but it's also okay to say, here's what I'm doing, and you have. And that's important because one person can be that spark, right? Not to use the drone analogy and all that, but you are the spark, Costantino, for, saying, well, we have this incredibly well-skilled, disciplined pipeline of veterans. You came from that world in the military. And you say, well, why don't we help these people like they're helped in other countries and around the world to enter the private sector, to find other opportunities, a second, third, fourth career?
So let me expand on this a little bit.
Please.
Because I think there is more in this. I think it makes sense professionally, business-wise. I mean, there is a market looking for talent, and we're providing talent which has really good skills. I mean, exceptional skills, I would say. Okay. Now, on the other side, the military also get it. On the long run, they will benefit it big time. The reason is we studied a lot the American case. So becoming an officer in the United States gives you a badge of professionalism, which is then you can use this in the market.
That's right.
And that makes you be a better officer because your fame will follow you, and this will be what you will use afterwards in the market to find a better job. And because officers in the United States have been so good professionals, the market demands them, and they're well paid.
That's right.
Is it right?
That's right.
So there is we try to do the same thing in the Greek army. So if you have a potential after serving, then you will become a better officer while you're serving.
That's right.
Because you
more
have
pride, more
pride,
yes.
Vision
of the future, of what you will do maybe next or whatever.
And if the government in Greece cannot, give higher salaries to the officers, they can give them a vision for being better and for the next day, and also be able to attract more young people to join the armed forces
for recruitment,
which is the case right now.
So we call that a win-win.
Exactly, it's a win-win. That's what I see right now. It's a win-win for the army because they're trying to find ways to, to promote joining the armed forces, and it helps the private sector at the same time, and it's also good business for us.
Konstantino, you're leading the way. I want to close the interview by asking you a question, and the question is, what advice would you give to someone starting their career now, to the future global leaders like yourself? You're leading the way, you're forging the way, you're creating opportunities, you're creating solutions. That's the powerful thing. What advice do you have for someone who's just starting, who says, geez, I want to be like Konstantino. I want to be able to change the world and solve problems?
So what I see that has changed generation by generation is that you need to start from the very lowest, and you should be humble and do whatever it takes from the lower step to go to the higher step. Because the reason I'm saying this is not just because you need to follow the path, is that because that's how you will understand the people that you will have to guide and lead the next day. You cannot lead someone if you have not been part of the lower scale. So you need to go from the lower steps to the higher steps and not be afraid to take this path. I have the feeling that lately I see people that want to go directly to the top, but this leaves them a void about understanding the lower ranks, and that's a big problem because eventually you cannot lead if you don't understand the lower ranks.
So you're saying there's value in going on the journey and actually putting in the work.
Yes.
Because if you skip that step, you're not getting the full value of what you can learn and do ultimately.
Yes, and you won't be able to lead.
And you won't be able to lead effectively.
Yes.
Incredible. And so the final thought here is, how can folks find out more about the work you're doing? What's the best place they can learn about what you're doing?
Well, they can go online.
Yeah.
And they can visit our website, cedars.gr.
Okay.
Or EDVS, the European Defense Venture Studio, which is, we didn't talk about that, but it's another.
I want you to talk about that for a moment. So I'm glad you mentioned it.
Okay. So in the same notion that we were into innovation and in the venture studio, and I started hiring defense professionals, veterans, and our business took another path with the veterans. So I saw the effectiveness of this, and last year in Europe, everybody started talking about defense innovation, and we were in place. So running MIT Enterprise Forum, and I'm going to be very short about this, running MIT Enterprise Forum all these years, we tried in different years to run verticals. So to see how we can do more focused actions in specific domains. For example, we ran vertical on maritime innovation. We did vertical on energy innovation and on health innovation. So every time we verticalized our acceleration paths, we saw that the innovation ecosystem was thinner. So there was no potential to repeat it another year, because the innovation in a small country like Greece, it's limited.
Right.
Okay. So when Europe came out and said we need defense innovation capacity building, and we said, we have technology, we have the innovation, and we know defense, and we know we have these three key elements. I immediately said we cannot go on a national level on Greek, because it will become verticalized, it will become very thin. So, but on a European scale, this can work, and we can actually go there because no one else in Europe right now has defense technology and innovation at the same time. So we established, and it was announced in Brussels in February, the European Defense Venture Studio, the first venture studio for defense in Europe.
First in Europe?
Yes, in Europe.
Incredible.
Yeah. And the idea is to aggregate all the parties related to innovation and defense. And we have been swamped, actually, by everybody want to get involved. Because it was, there was a void in this field, and we try to fill this up.
Well, and that's my point. Leadership starts at the top. It takes Konstantinos Michanetzis, you are leadership defined. That's you just defined it for me.
Thank you very much.
That's the last word. Thank you for your leadership.
I hope young people will get benefit by this and try to do things. I think for Greece especially, it's the time we get out of the financial crisis. Greece is growing. We have great potential, and we can take advantage of this situation right now and do big things.
Your advice is for everyone across the world. Yes. All those future global leaders, listen to Konstantinos Michanetzis. He's changing the world. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.